Welcome to the Monday, May 6th edition of the Fringe News with Reverend Jeff. I've got a show packed with great content, so let's take a look at just what I've managed to find. Leading off the crypto news tonight, just what is looking back at Robert Dodson from the woods. He isn't too sure what it is, but there's plenty of them. During one of his outings to his Sasquatch research location, Robert seems to think he picked up some followers and they've moved from location to location. He also thinks it may have been a setup just to let him know who's in charge. Robert has a bunch of Bigfoot content on his channel, so click on youtube.com/Robert Dodson to see these clips. Next, are these tree knocks and calls from the skunk ape? Tom Andrew seems to believe that they are. The 25-second clip has no description as to the location or circumstances surrounding the captured sounds, but it's seeming that as of late the Bigfoots are getting rowdy and everyone's catching them, so who knows what's going on this video. Check out youtube.com/Mr. Biceps to watch the clip. And wrapping up the crypto segment tonight is Phil Polling's Parabreakdown of the Squatch filmed on a ridge by the Squatch Master. This time Phil invited Sean Evidence and your very own Reverend Jeff here along to help out with a live breakdown on the footage. Although at first glance I liked the clip, after digging deeper into the subject and the conditions in which it was filmed, there are a few red flags. Be sure to check out youtube.com/Parabreakdown to check out all the fun. Tonight's best of hoop-forded weirdness is the monster bait needed. Group offers top dollar to human bait and chupacabra hunt by Craig Newkirk. Looking for a side job with decent pay, odd hours, and a possible brush with the unexplained? Be a paranormal bait. Might just be the job for you, and there's at least one group hiring. The 42-member strong ACAM, or Association of Haunt Marijuana in Belo Horizonte, Portugal, has been dealing with all manner of terror inflicted by their own version of the chupacabra, the menacing Cabacalo de Agua, a bizarre monster seen as responsible for the mass deaths of livestock and has even been blamed for the deaths of at least 4 humans. Be sure to navigate to whofortedblog.com to check out the Zine About Weird Stuff. Now, kicking off the out-of-this-world news tonight is this newly found piece of UFO evidence. Just what's flying past this jetliner? I can't tell, but it's moving so fast that the news in the UK seems to think it may be a UFO. Things are getting a bit strange over the skies of Great Britain. Click on youtube.com/Julio2013HD to see the raw footage. And just when you thought the serious document was the end-all to be-all in alien bodies, along comes UFO Planet, episode 27. Live aliens captured around the planet. Daring Crapo's YouTube channel has the home of YouTube's UFO Planet series and has hours upon hours of great UFO and alien content to watch. This episode includes some chilling videos of aliens that have been caught around the world, some dead but others still living, proving once and for all that what we have out there isn't what we're worried about, it's what's already here that is the story. Check out youtube.com/LDSMess to see the show. And finally tonight we have more coverage of the US government covering up all UFO activity since the beginning. John Callahan was there firsthand when the CIA and other officials looked into the famous UFO sighting by a Japanese pilot. So I'll leave you with this footage from the hearings in Washington. Your Operation Condor message of the night is, the package has been sent. The package has been sent. This has been your Fringe News number 9. I'm Reverend Jeff, and may the Squatch be with you.
Now, when the Japanese pilot first commanded the frequency, for you guys that are familiar with radar or how the military or the controllers work, when he first commanded the frequency for the controller, the first words out of his mouth was, "Did you have traffic for me?" And when the controller hears these words, it means doom, because right away he forgot something. He's got somebody else up there that shouldn't, and why would a pilot ask if we had traffic? And he looked at his scope and he says, negative, there's no traffic in your area. And the Japanese pilot says, oh yeah, there's traffic out here. And it's at 12 o'clock and about 8 miles. He's telling him. Well, the next thing the controller says is, can you tell me what type it is? Can you make out the type of aircraft? Any markings on the plane that we can find out who it is? He's thinking it's a military aircraft. And the Japanese pilot says, there's no markings. It's as big as 4 aircraft carriers. It has yellow and white lights around the center, and it's big. And he was a little bit worried. Well, this machine followed him down for 31 minutes. Halfway through his flight, he he makes a 360-degree turn. Now, when I say he makes it, he doesn't do anything unless the FAA says you can do this. So they told him, if you want to deviate, you want to change your altitude, let us know. And he changed his altitude a couple times, makes a 360, and this UFO stayed with him all the way. Scared the pants off. So I shoot back to the FAA Center, and the administrator at the time was Admiral Amy. I don't know if you guys do. I got there about 4:45 because I wanted to go home with my wife. And he heard I was in the building, so he calls me up and he says, give me a 5-minute briefing on what you're saying. So I gave him what I'm telling you guys here. And he wanted to know if that video I took would play on his TV, and I said, I guess so, the book says it can. So I plugged it in there, and after a few minutes of watching the video, he calls an aide over and he says, go tell Kennedy I'm going to be a few minutes late. So he's watching it a little bit more, and then he finally calls the aide over and says, go cancel the rest of my appointments tonight. We'll reschedule for sometime next week. He says, I have to go see the president. And we're talking about Reagan. So when he got all done, he said, don't talk to anybody. I'll get back with you, and I'll tell you what to do. I'm on my way to see Reagan. The next morning, I came to work, and I got a call from some guy who said he was at the CIA. He wanted to talk about a UFO. I said, you're talking to the wrong guy. I don't know anything about UFO. He said, well, the one that happened over Alaska, I said, you probably want to talk to the Admiral. I don't know what you're talking about. A few minutes later, the Admiral calls down and says, I've set up a briefing for you tomorrow at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it was, in the round room. He says, the President's scientific staff is coming over, some CIA guys will be there, I think he said 3, matter of fact, and some grunts will be coming along with them. He says, your task is to hand this stuff off to them. When they leave here, they have to take this with them, because the FAA does not control UFOs. Now, I showed them all this stuff. When they got all
45 seconds.
Okay. When they got all done, one of the scientists came out and said they had 3 or 4 questions. They wanted to know the speed of the antenna, the frequency of the antenna, the logarithm for the height finding equipment. And the people I brought with me just happened to be experts, and they answered all the questions. When they get done, the CIA guy standing next to me says to the people, this event, pointing to the big screen they have in the room, this event never happened. We were never here. We're confiscating all this data, and you're all sworn to secrecy.